Hey guys, it's Eric from GameShampoo.com. As usual, I am going to begin the next week of coverage with kind of a summary of what happened last week and then go into a little bit of what's going to be happening in the coming week. And a lot of stuff actually happened last week, and there's a lot of stuff happening over the next couple of weeks, so it's going to be a big video. I guess I'll just start out with all the news that we've kind of written up over the last week. I'll just read that stuff off in order, go over some of the important stuff. We had a bunch of stuff happen relating to SimCity, Mass Effect 3, Tomb Raider, and then there was some pretty cool Assassin's Creed 4 and like Killzone, Time Splitters, Dead Space, God of War, all that good stuff. So starting it off with Ubisoft, they have announced their plans for, I guess it's next week at this point, next week's PAX East conference, and they're going to be bringing tons of games, as is kind of their style. There will be a big Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag display on the show floor where people will be able to get their hands on the game, and it's going to be inside of this kind of giant enclosed theater environment where people will be getting hands-on demos with the game, and when they leave they can get an inflatable cutlass, kind of like how at last year's Comic-Con in San Diego, Ubisoft was giving away those like big inflatable hatchet things. Those were pretty cool. You can get a cutlass this time around for Black Flag. Oh, and you can also take your photo with the game's protagonist, which I take to mean that they'll have like a big statue of the new assassin, Edward Kearney. Either that or some poor guy in cosplay taking pictures with strangers all day. So yeah, get your hands on that, and we'll definitely be playing some of that as we head around the PAX show floor, probably on Friday. They're going to have Watch Dogs on the show floor as well. They're going to be showing off never before seen footage of the open world game, probably running on current gen tech. I don't feel like there's going to be much in the way of like PlayStation 4 stuff running up there, but we'll see. That's also going to be shown in an enclosed theater, and attendees will receive a special lanyard. And Splinter Cell Blacklist will also be on the show floor. Players can play that as well, and there will be an exclusive demo on the floor for PAX East. Shootmania Storm, Might and Magic Heroes 6, Shades of Darkness, Might and Magic Duel of Champions Online, Call of Juarez Gunslinger for XBLA and PSN, and Spartacus Legends will also be on the show floor. So that's what's going on with Ubisoft at PAX. They are the second developer to kind of announce their plans for PAX. I know Capcom's going to have Lost Planet 3, Resident Evil Revelations, Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen. I think they're going to have a playable demo of Remember Me. I know that game's going to be there in some form or another. And they're supposed to be announcing 2 new games that nobody's heard anything about just yet, so that's pretty exciting. So we're starting to hear a little bit more about developer plans for PAX, and that's always fun, so we can kind of try and form a slightly better idea of what exactly we're going to be showing you while we're there. And that's never a bad thing. Next up, we've got a Mass Effect 3 multiplayer infographic, which BioWare released on the game's kind of 1-year anniversary. It's actually 3 infographics, and it shows off a lot of interesting statistics about the game and kind of which classes players are preferring to play as in the multiplayer, how many credits people have earned, how many matches people have completed compared to how many people have kind of failed on the last wave or whatever. So I'm taking a look at it right now. You can see that people have played a cumulative total of 1,800 years of Mass Effect 3 online. The The highest N7 rating on Xbox 360 is over 5,000. 10.5 million missions have been accomplished so far. Cool stats like that make you realize that the multiplayer in Mass Effect 3 was pretty big. And, despite a lot of people not wanting that to exist, it was actually pretty good. And it definitely has a pretty loyal following. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes in the future, since they have pretty much come out and said they're doing Mass Effect 4. So that's some good Mass Effect news. And following that is some bad Natural Selection 2 news. The developer, Unknown Worlds Entertainment, has lost $30,000 to credit card fraud. Somebody stole a bunch of credit card numbers, purchased a little over 1,000 keys for Natural Selection 2 from Unknown Worlds' online store, and then they went through third-party retailers online, sold those keys off for a discounted price. So a little over 1,000 players bought those keys from third-party websites, thinking they were getting a cheaper version of the game. And what ended up happening was the version of the game they got was kind of like an illicit version. Steam ended up going out and shutting down all those games and making the codes null. So people who bought those games will not be able to use them. It's pretty doubtful that they'll be able to get a refund for that stuff. Unknown Worlds is charged with repaying all of the money to the banks that ended up being stolen, so that means they're in over their necks at about $30,000. And whoever sold the credit card stuff took the money and ran. Has not been caught so far, and it's looking kind of doubtful, which is really unfortunate news for those guys. That was a pretty cool game, and I know they've been working on it for something like a decade before they ended up releasing it last October. So it's kind of a real shame when you hear something like that. Next FPS news is Killzone Mercenary for the Vita. We have a trailer up of the game. It's kind of Sony's showing off all the visuals of the game, and they get their art director in there talking about kind of crafting these brutal melee kills and stuff like that, which return from Killzone 3. Now you have to swipe the screen in a direction, like an arrow appears. You have to swipe that direction in order to complete the melee kill, and they show off a bunch of that stuff. It gets pretty messed up. You should probably check that out for yourself, but wear a cup or something, because it's not cool. EA and SimCity, that whole thing has just been a wreck. We have a couple of stories up about SimCity so far. So where to even start? The game came out last week, last Tuesday, and the servers were pretty much busted. EA and Maxis, they say they didn't expect that many people to play the game when it came out, which, why not? You'd think you'd have a pretty good indication based on pre-order numbers and stuff like that of how many people are going to be in your game on launch day. But, same kind of thing happened with Diablo 3. So it's not like this is unprecedented or anything. And so the game was pretty much busted due to an overload on the servers. And, since then, they've been trying all this stuff to fix it. So the first piece that we wrote about it was about EA removing non-critical features from the game, like leaderboards, achievements, other kind of socially integrated stuff like that with the game, trying to ease the load on the servers, which didn't end up doing much. And then after that, EA suspended the SimCity marketing campaign with kind of the objective of actually getting less people to purchase the game in hopes that they would be able to fix the servers by the time people started buying the game again. So we have a message that EA sent to Polygon, which says, Please remove any copy promoting SimCity from your website for the time being. To be clear, we are continuing to pay out commissions on all SimCity sales that are referred. However, we are requesting that you please stop actively promoting the game. We will notify you as soon as the SimCity marketing campaigns have been resumed and our promotional links are once again live in the link share interface. We apologize for any inconveniences that this may cause, and we thank you for your cooperation. Yeah, they're actually hoping to sell less of the game at this point, just so the thing will be less broken. This whole thing is just, a huge joke at this point. I mean, Steam has been taking advantage of the whole busted SimCity thing too, with a sale on the Tropico series, and I don't know if they're still doing this, but on Tuesday night they were doing this sale on offline city building games or something like that. They had the Tropico games, they had Cities XL, a few other games that were offline mode enabled that were going on big sales on Steam. I think Tropico 4 is still on sale. I last checked on Friday, so may or may not be on sale still. Those games are really good though, Tropico. If you really want to play some SimCity but you can't, Tropico 4 would be a pretty good alternative. So yeah, SimCity, messed up, still messed up. If you bought it already, that sucks. If you're thinking about buying it, probably don't, because it's completely busted. You probably won't even be able to get into the game at all. Time Splitters is returning thanks to a fan-made and Crytek sanctioned rewind. The game is called Time Splitters Rewind, and it seems like it's basically going to be a kind of amalgamation of all the stuff from the first 3 Time Splitters games, but up-resed, or not even up-resed really. They're having to make entirely new models, new environments, textures, stuff like that, so it'll all kind of mesh with what we've been seeing from current games, or at least recent games. It's a fan project. They currently have about 25 people working on it, so I don't expect it to be like amazing looking or anything, but expect it to be a much better looking version of those past Time Splitters multiplayer suites. And they're currently planning to go into, I think it's a beta, could be an alpha. I'll just check real quickly, but they're planning on testing stuff out with the public this winter. So let's see, yeah, a beta is expected towards the end of the year. So if you like Time Splitters, I know I love Time Splitters, well, check that out. And if you can contribute in any way, do so. This is a pretty notable thing, because usually people start remaking these kind of classic games online, and then the original developers or publishers kind of step in and they go, hey, wait a minute, you can't use our property that way, and they shut the whole thing down, and it just ends up being a waste of time and energy for everybody. But in this case, the fans have started, this whole thing kind of sprung up from this petition that was online, I think it was late last year, where a couple 100,000 Time Splitters fans petitioned for a 4th game in the series, and that wasn't really enough to justify them going out and making a 4th game, because a couple 100,000 customers is kind of nothing for a big AAA product. But a lot of those fans kind of felt this mutual interest in seeing Time Splitters return. Some of them banded together, and now they've been developing this sort of remake-ish sort of thing of the older games, and Crytek saw that and they said, hey, that's pretty cool, you have our permission to use the name Time Splitters and all these old characters and maps and stuff like that, so do as you will with it, which is pretty cool. So I know I'm personally really excited for that game. I don't think I've played a multiplayer shooter since Time Splitters 3 that I really liked quite as much as that, or at least in that same way. multiplayer shooters have gone in a totally different direction since then. We have a guide up for Mass Effect 3's Technical Issues achievement, which is kind of a surprisingly complex achievement regarding the combat sim in the Citadel DLC, which just came out last week. Talked about the SimCity stuff already, have that story. Got a Gears of War Judgment launch trailer up on the site, despite the fact that the game did not launch last week, does not launch this week. It's coming out next week, right before PAX, actually. So, have a launch trailer, but the game itself is not even that close to being out yet. We also have a preview of Dead Space 3's Awakened DLC, which does come out this week. It actually comes out tomorrow, the 12th, the same day as God of War Ascension, which we also have a trailer for. Sony revealed a brand new co-op mode for the series called Trial of the Gods, and we have a trailer depicting that whole mode, detailing the rule sets and that stuff. Pretty big announcement for right before the game launches. And we'll see how it all plays out tomorrow. We'll have an official review of God of War Ascension up. Tomb Raider is up next. Kind of lost track of where I was for a second. We have a Relics guide up. We also have a Documents guide and a Challenges guide. Excuse me. So if you've been looking for collectibles in Tomb Raider, there are an awful lot of them in that game. We have the guides, we have the technology to help you find it. New Far Cry, or I guess a new Far Cry 3 game specifically, might be in development for XBLA, PSN, and Steam. We've heard rumors of a Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon title, which is said to be a downloadable first-person shooter, and is said to be written by the same lead writer of Far Cry 3. So hopefully that means we can look forward to more, crazy, evil bad guys, and hopefully less in the way of weird endings that kind of don't really go anywhere. That's interesting. Ubisoft has yet to confirm anything regarding Blood Dragon, but we do have a Brazilian ratings board rating for it on all three platforms. So, should be interesting to see where that goes. And the lead writer of Far Cry 3 has said in the past that we can expect to see something unexpected coming from him soon. I think he said surprising. So, it'll be... that would definitely be surprising, yeah. If they were to release a $15 first-person shooter version of Far Cry 3, yeah, that would be pretty surprising. Continuing on with the Ubisoft theme, we have a PETA statement regarding whale hunting in Assassin's Creed 4, and then Ubisoft quickly responded with kind of a tongue-in-cheek reply. We have both the statement from PETA and the response from Ubisoft up on the site. Back to Tomb Raider, the Caves and Cliffs multiplayer DLC will come to Xbox 360 first. It will be a timed exclusive on the 360, and it will include 3 new maps, which we have images of inside of the article. Lost Planet 3 has gotten a release date for June, and it gets a new trailer and a listing of pre-order bonuses as well. We have the trailer, the date, and all the bonuses up on the site. So, the game is going to be coming out on June 25th in North America and June 28th in Europe. They have a kind of new trailer detailing some of the plot, which kind of makes it look a lot like a weird version of Avatar. And they have retailer-specific pre-order bonuses, which you can download as DLC. So pretty much wherever you get the game from, you'll get the, I believe it's the 2 rig upgrades, which kind of focus on melee kills for the Acrid, And then if you pre-order at Amazon, you get the Punisher pack. If you pre-order at Best Buy, you get the Assault pack. And if you pre-order at GameStop, you get the Freedom Fighter pack. The first two are weapons packs. They consist of 3 weapons each, and the first one from Amazon is long range stuff. The one from Best Buy is close range stuff, and then the one from GameStop is actually character skins, and it includes skins of other characters in the game, skins of like Hunk from Resident Evil and stuff like that. So it's all pretty minor stuff, but depending on how you want to play, you might want to change where you have the game pre-ordered, if you have it pre-ordered at all. Going back to Tomb Raider 2 more times, we have a review of the game up on the site, and we also have a scavenger hunt going on for Tomb Raider. Square Enix has announced a Reborn scavenger hunt, which they're doing via Twitter, and basically you take images or videos of the game, like parts of the game that you liked, or ads that you see on buses or billboards or whatever. Submit that stuff to Twitter, and then you could win a bunch of Tomb Raider prizes, like a custom Xbox 360, custom controllers, all that cool stuff. So check that out. Got the rules of the contest in there. That's it. Not much more. Thief 4 was announced for next-gen consoles, but we do not have any screenshots or specific gameplay details yet. It is supposed to be kind of like last year's Dishonored, at least in the kind of tone and vibe of the game. Assassin's Creed 4, the team has talked about very cool ideas that they have for using the PS4 as a unique controller. So, head over to our website, GameShampoo.com/magazine, and check that out. Talk about ways to use the little screen that's in the top of the controller, or the weird little motion control hack that the controller has. Kind of how you might see that stuff come into Assassin's Creed 4. And finally, Saints Row 4. There is a rumor that the game is coming from new publisher Koch Media. They're the Deep Silver guys who've published Dead Island, and I think they published... No, I think that was Ubisoft that published Call of Juarez. So yeah, they did Dead Island for sure. That's coming in August, or so the rumor has it. And they're telling media specifically to look out for something huge at PAX East. So we'll be looking out for something huge at PAX East. Gone over all the panels, and there doesn't seem to be any mention of Saints Row or Volition or Deep Silver in any of that stuff. So I'm going to be looking out for it on the show floor, I guess. Something huge will be there. They are revealing something. It is probably Saints Row related. So that's what happened last week. In a nutshell, we have kind of more detailed versions of all of those stories, and we have more stories in addition to all that stuff up on the website, www.gameshampoo.com/magazine. And next week is obviously God of War Ascension on the PS3. So we're going to be getting our hands on that tomorrow, and in accordance with that, you can look forward to an unboxing of that game on the PS3. And same day, Dead Space 3's Awakened DLC is coming out. StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm is coming out on Tuesday. So Tuesday is going to be a big day for video game releases, just in general. Pretty much no matter what genre of game you're a fan of, it's going to be something. So God of War Ascension is probably going to be our main priority in terms of unboxing and getting our review up as soon as possible. So that's definitely happening on Tuesday. But also be on the lookout for content regarding StarCraft and regarding Dead Space 3's Awakened DLC. I'm going to try and have reviews for both. If possible, we are preparing for PAX East, and we're needing to play through Gears of War Judgment going on towards the end of next week. So definitely having God of War, and definitely having Dead Space 3's Awakened reviewed and covered on the site. and we're gonna try and have some StarCraft 2 stuff up there as well. And then it's gonna be PAX next week, so that'll be a busy week. We'll have another video up before we head out, or an article, one of the two, maybe both, kind of talking about what we're going to be doing at PAX East, because there's going to be a lot of stuff. I've been building a schedule up over the last couple days, trying to see, who's going to be where and when, and it seems like it's going to be a really great PAX this year, probably the biggest that we've ever had. So look forward to that. Look forward to God of War, Dead Space, and StarCraft in the coming week. And thanks for watching.